Hey everybody, Jason Bermas here, and we are back in Iowa at the home base, so that's making everything a little bit easier. However, I gotta tell you guys, I am not encouraged at all about anything we're about to go over today, because the real question is, with the mainstream mockingbird media industrial complex, media military industrial complex, espousing all of these things about nuclear war and escalation and saying so in a flippant manner, when we live in a long-term culture of worshiping celebritards that are created by this same mainstream military industrial complex. Can it all of a sudden happen? I'm not ruling anything out. I'm not making prediction dates of what's going to happen. But when we have, for instance, we're going to be doing a whole bunch of video watching. We have H.R. McMaster out there. And then this is one of those things, guys, I want to warn everybody. Remember, he was in the Trump administration. Bilderberg 2017 guy. National Security Advisor guy. All right, and he's out on the morning news. He's, first of all, now bringing more people into the conflict, which is extremely dangerous. What do we got here? Tim Osmond, thank you so much for that tip. You've got him inside of Bilderberg, inside the Trump administration, McMaster, and he's up there, talking about Iranians and their drone capabilities and how they're working with the Russians. Now, no one's talking about the Elon Musk Ghost and Sidewinders via Starlink, and really their DARPA program, Blackjack. Let's grow up. Let's be adults. Warfare is there. There are also mercenaries on the ground. Michael Tracy has done tremendous work on that on Twitter, verified it, and things are escalating. And this isn't me telling you that I love the poot, but I can tell you this. We've moved towards authoritarianism and censorship in this country in a rapid fashion, and we have propped up false idols that are saying one thing and doing another. And really, we're going to kick this off after the Iranians and their drone capabilities with a journalist who barely survived an airstrike. This is very real. And look, we've had it really good for really long in this country. Really good for really long in this country. And if for any reason a nuclear weapon, I believe, is used somewhere in this country or in a European nation or Ukraine or Russia itself, anything, our lives change like that. And not for the better. Not for the better at all. This is very dangerous. And why aren't more people talking like me? It's common sense. You don't have to be waving a poot flag or a Ukrainian flag, right, to understand that. And I get it. We've been under massive psychological warfare for decades. Decades of fear. Decades of a culture that pushed you into food that isn't food, got you on medications that didn't help. That's where we're at. And had you watching magic boxes and screens to worship, again, false idols. So thumbs it up, subscribe, share. We're back in action. I can't wait to start doing that show over at Red Voice. Again, that's coming up Monday through Thursday, 8 to 10 a.m. Eastern. We're going to kick it old school, baby. Early morning show. It's coming at you. I'm trying to, now that I'm home right now, really kick it into high gear and really, really excited. Thumbs it up, subscribe, share. And remember, all the links down below to help me out right there. Okay, let's get into the drones. The Iranian-made drone being used to carry out deadly strikes in Ukraine. Russia unleashes Shahed 136 kamikaze weapons, which overwhelm ground targets and can evade air defenses. Now, you take a look at this. All I'm saying, and yeah, there's an alliance. There's a alleged picture of one. Warfare sucks, huh? I don't like this on either side at all. At all. And McMaster's, we're not going to play this whole clip. It's 6 minutes long. But the first thing they start talking about are these drones and then civilian targets. And I'm not saying that Russia isn't also taking out civilian targets, by the way. Just want to put that out there. But the rhetoric that is here is crazy. Now, Wyatt Reed, basically, I can't show you this footage, especially on YouTube. But he says, days after Kiev publicly declared that collaborators will be shot like pigs, Ukrainian regime forces have begun uploading footage of themselves doing exactly that. Remember this video the next time you read another MSM report claiming Russia is behind mass graves in Kharkiv. I didn't even want to put it on. I saw the thumbnail of it. I didn't even want to put it on. This is disgusting. Both sides. Okay? We show you drone strikes over from Russia to Ukraine. We're showing you this. And here's the deal. He's labeled Russian state media. We've censored RT altogether in this country, which is insane to me. Insane. Okay? And I've had friends that have worked for RT and do work for RT. And we want a global free press with other perspectives so we can discuss real issues with one another. I know, kooky, crazy, wild. So I can't imagine being in this situation. I'll say this, okay? At this point, it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's not that I can't imagine it. I don't want to imagine it. I don't want to imagine anything like this ever happening in my country. And I'm sure you don't either. But keep escalating. So I'm just going to let him speak right here.
We're here at the corner of Artemis Street and Rova Ave, where a artillery strike by the Kiev regime just rocked this intersection. I was about 100 meters away at the time, and as you can see, the devastation is incredible. This is a normal occurrence for the people of Donbass, the people of Donetsk. They are living under this threat every day, and I just got a taste myself. I watched a massive explosion rock this corner, huge ball of sparks and flames here at my hotel. Shrapnel from the explosion shattered several windows, and that was pretty lucky. I feel pretty lucky right now. If I'd have been 30 seconds, a minute faster to get back to my hotel, I was walking back from a restaurant. If I'd been just a few seconds faster, I would have been killed.
So I just want to stop it here. And again, I mean, take a look at his face. Very solemn, very serious. Again, something I never want to experience personally. All right? Are you going to hear on CNN or MSNBC or Fox News? You hear it on Fox? Or am I going to miss it? Maybe this is going to be on Newsmax? Let's go that far. Hey, man, Newsmax proved me wrong. I would love for them to play that on there. Still not big like that, or CBS, ABC. Nope. That they're hitting hotels with journalists. I'm going to let him finish up.
It's hard to describe this as anything other than terror tactics. This is fascism in action, and it's why so many people here are deeply appreciative of Russian forces, Russian Federation forces, for finally acting to put an end to this madness that's been happening for 8 years. 8 years of living with this.
So we're going to just stop it right there. And, once again, we've had Jeffrey Sachs talk about proxy wars and the quote-unquote real deep state, right? Syria, Ukraine 2014 is what he's discussing. Oliver Stone has made documentary films about it. There is no discussion whatsoever of these things. None. Zero. Zip. Zilch. Okay? So, it makes me disgusted, but once again, this is the hypocrisy that we live in. And here it is right here. Wow, Twitter really wants me dead, huh? So let's just read the lovely things that are being said on Twitter. These are their terms of services, guys. And by the way, we don't even have 100 thumbs up. Can we get 100 thumbs up? We're going way deeper. We got way more to watch. Okay? Can't wait for the images of mangled flesh that used to be called Wyatt Reed. Lovely. Lovely. Yeah. Calling for journalist deaths. That's totally acceptable on Twitter, right? Wyatt Reed is foul, disgusting insect. You're a disgrace to humanity, and you're ugly too, bro. But, that's what happens when you're an anonymous loser on Twitter. No violations of the Twitter rules. None. Weird. But again, we live in the post-truth world. That's not me. That's Bilderberg 2018. That's where we're at, guys. It's 100%, again, the post-truth world. All right? And in that post-truth world, you look at this, and remember, they're going to tell you, we got to watch our carbon footprint. We got to watch the cars we drive. And all this methane's leaking out. All these greenhouse gases are there. All this warfare's going on. There's never a limit on warfare and killing the carbon they want, which is you. It's human beings. As they profiteer from it. A command control. Think about the inversion of reality right now. If they're so worried about the planet warming and what we need to do as a society, these aren't fractional things. They are the vast majority of the actual destruction of the ecosystem. Okay? Believe it. And as we keep going here, pro-Russian hackers, right? There's a few narratives that are out there right now. Pro-Russian hackers claim responsibility for knocking U.S. airport websites offline. The cyber attacks, the nuclear rhetoric, which we're about to get into, all right? And then, now, this idea that we're going to elate the Muskanuts once again. Lord Muskanuts will come and save us from the evil of Poot. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? And so here's the weird thing. It's like you have the supposed quote-unquote left-wing media and state media now attacking the Muskernuts for a decision where he's saying he's not going to allow his Starlink systems into Crimea, admitting what I've been saying from the very beginning. These are used in warfare. It's reported everywhere. There are video of troops using Starlink with drones. But again, McMaster's, he'll get out there and he'll be on mainstream media spouting all this Johnny nonsense, okay, about alls that Putin has left. Because they openly admit that, like, Biden said in private meetings, Armageddon's on the way. All he has left is to wave his nuclear saber. What's going on here, guys? Civilization changes. So here it is. Here's the Vice report, which gets denied. Elon Musk speaks to Putin before tweeting Ukrainian peace plan report. Now, he's denying this. All right, but what's more important is that he has blocked, apparently, Ukraine from using Starlink in Crimea over concern that Putin could use nuclear weapons. He's Mr. Benevolence in this case. No, he's not Mr. Benevolence. He's the guy that is literally a front man for the military-industrial complex. Okay? Michael Griffin, CIA, NSA. Just like Google is, YouTube. I know what you're up to with NASA and your quantum supremacy and your AI and your transhuman agenda. If it's too much for people, I'm sorry. Elon Musk, transhumanist, wants to put Neuralink brain chips in society. Heavy investor in mRNA technology. It's a fact. It's a fact, Jack. Go watch my extended interview with Clay Clark where we expose all this stuff, okay? But he's got a master plan to save humanity, everybody. That's what he's got. 12,000 Starlink dishes in the Ukraine, highest concentration. Ride-along programs with DARPA on their blackjack program with their buddies, okay, at Lockheed Martin. I love Lockheed. You love Lockheed. Everybody loves Lockheed. Let's get a Lockheed lollipop, right? And again, he started by challenging Putin to single combat in this. But he's not involved in the escalation of World War III at all. And I see people now on the left retweeting my tweet on this whole escalation. Like they want Elon Musk to put these satellites up. And I'm just trying to make the point. He's the #1 defense contractor, according to Kash Patel. #1 guy. We're going to play that clip in a second, okay? But first, before we do that, we're going to sit McMaster's down here. I usually get, CBS usually comes after me, copyrights off, but they're talking Armageddon and nuclear war, okay? So here's McMaster's, really great guy, Trump administration.
Mission accomplished. What do you make of Putin's strategy, though? I attack your country, and then he goes on Russian TV yesterday and calls the Ukrainian people terrorists. Yeah. What do you make of this strategy? The Russian people aren't always getting the truth here.
Oh, the Russian people aren't always getting the truth. Like the American people are getting the truth from McMaster's here. I mean, what kind of fictitious universe do we live in?
No, they never get the truth, right? I mean, whatever.
So now it's never, and everything Putin has said and put out there is completely false. He could say the sky is blue, and they would say, no, it's not.
Putin says that the opposite is reality. And I think what you're seeing now are some real cracks within the Russian regime, and I think in Russian popular opinion. It's hard to believe any polls, right, that come out of Russia. If they say, hey, what do you think of Vladimir Putin? What are you going to say, right?
Of course.
It might just disappear, right, if you give the wrong answer. And, of course, it's important to note that inside of Russia now, there are more political prisoners than there were during the height of the Cold War.
Now, I don't know if that's true. Is that true? At the height of the Cold War, they had less political prisoners than right now. Is that true? Can anyone show me that stat by anybody other than H.R. McMaster, who apparently I have to bend the knee to as an authoritative source, who's a Bilderberg 2017 guy?
In the Russian internal security services, more people than there are in the military. And, of course, what did Putin tell people? Hey, this is going to be easy. Just leave this to me. This is a special military operation.
It'll be done quick.
It'll be done quick.
And
now they've had tremendous losses, Gail. I mean, conservative estimates, 65,000 casualties, right?
See how proud he is when he's talking about that? They've had tremendous losses. Yeah, because this is a proxy war for us that is escalating into a possible World War III conflict, which nobody wants. Nobody wants. Except for maybe McMaster's and his buddies.
And now he's trying to mobilize 300,000. And you're seeing that a lot of these, he's mobilizing 300,000, but it's 300,000 people trying to flee the country. I mean, they've gone to prisons to recruit 80,000 criminals. So it's really, I think you're seeing the strains. And we're talking about these massive attacks that just occurred. How many more times can they do that? I mean,
can they do that? So now again, McMaster's, I mean, if you didn't believe anything out of his mouth before, with a straight face, these people tell you that it's the Pootster, old Putingham, that bombed his own pipeline and the bridge. I mean, look at, and he says it with such a straight face. I mean, this guy, everything he says on camera, it's the inversion of reality. It's the post-truth world, folks. All right, and now we're going to have somebody sit back all coy. Put a leg up. Armageddon, Joe Biden, nuclear war, get ready.
There are reports that they're running low on ammunition. They're buying ammo from North Korea.
President Biden.
And by the way, I want to throw that in there. We talked about Iran. We talked about now North Korea. We're getting back to the axes of evil, but expanding that into the Ruskies.
Biden warned that we haven't been this close to Armageddon since the Cuban Missile Crisis. How concerned should we be about a nuclear attack? Because it just sounds scary when you use the word nuclear.
Of course it does, Nate. And this is all that Putin's got left, right, is to rattle the nuclear saber. And I think the president's message was unfortunate there because it does kind of play into Putin's hands, right? Putin wants to incite fear, and he wants to constrain our support for the Ukrainians who are defending their children. I mean, half of the children in Ukraine are displaced.
Let me just stop this again. Think about what he wants. He's talking about, Putin wants us to stop helping the Ukrainians. No, he wants to stop the war that we shouldn't be involved in at all, even a little bit. And all you have to do is back off and not give Zelensky all of our toys, and that could happen. All right? Now, I'm going to play the Kash Patel clip really quickly right now, and then we're going to play, because again, I want people to understand, the Musk is not our friend. And then I'm going to play, another retired general talking about the same thing, and that we could have tactical nuclear strikes with Russia. This is insanity. We had the head of the Russian space agency, also what's important here when we're talking about satellite warfare, say he could nuke the entire NATO alignment, every NATO nation, in under 30 minutes. Where do you think that's coming from? Where do you think that's coming from? You think he's just talking smack, Jack? Or do you think that if they wanted to, they could annihilate the planet with this stuff? I mean, there's a little smack talk there, but the technology, you better believe it exists. So here we go. Here's Kash Patel talking about how Musker is the DOD guy.
He is doing some cool stuff in space and everything. He's doing a ton of stuff that you would think is so global. He is literally launching this thing called SatLink, which almost no one knows about, but he's been building for 5 years, which is free Wi-Fi for the world.
Which is amazing.
The world.
It's going to change everything.
And there again, no one's talking about it. You think the Democrats would be championing this, like, oh, I can be in Central Sahara Africa and get Wi-Fi on my $3 million phone.
Yeah.
You know, but they're not. And if you've actually watched one of these satellite link uploads, it's like a string of pearls being dropped in the night sky. It's really cool. I mean, we're all paying for it. This is why he's so rich. DOD's biggest contractor is Elon Musk.
That's right.
Oh, very interesting. I just learned something. I didn't.
I'll never.
Think about what he just said there. Their biggest contractor is Elon Musk. Oh, we're all paying for it. We paid for the guy's fortune. And you want to worship him? We did it. It's us guys. He's moving military cargo. Again, things that rain death upon people. Things that rain death upon people around the world, anywhere in an hour. He's been providing the military internet since 2019 on the record. He is a front for the military-industrial complex. Let's stop pretending. And then Kash Patel kind of makes the joke, hey, let's not talk about it anymore. I might want a job in the future. Kash, a good guy. But again, it's an open secret. That's my point. And this is going to go directly into yet another one of these people in the military-industrial complex that is talking about nuclear strikes and war.
Never get hired from him now. Can you edit that out?
Yeah, edit it out. Drop it on the floor. You know, Joe, does the government deserve?
CNN has learned that the U.S. is developing contingency plans for possible Russian escalation in its war in Ukraine, including the potential use of tactical nuclear weapons. Also, the possibility of what one source described as a nuclear display. That would be something short of a nuclear strike, including the possibility of a military strike on the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant.
So let's just stop here. While I was out on the road, I had a discussion with somebody. Let's just say that seemed like a legit discussion. We were talking propulsion systems, talking about 3D printing. We were talking about classified materials for those propulsion systems and vehicles and, warfare. And we got to a point where he said, you're going to see a lot of this new stuff in April. And I go, what do you mean we're going to see a lot of this new stuff in April? And I don't make predictions. And I hope this guy's very, very wrong. But he says they're getting ready to roll it out for this whole conflict. This whole conflict. And John Fitch just, I missed Mixed Martial Mindset yesterday. Again, on the road all day yesterday, guys. Just long trip driving from Virginia. Where you had the Chinese dropping a robo-dog, an armed robo-dog, of course, by drone. All right? So we're not just talking nuclear warfare. We're talking drone warfare, as we started the program with, Musker nuts, right? We're talking about a media that's playing, basically, oh, he's bad, but then he appeals to people who are anti-war because they are not looking deep enough and realizing he's obviously involved in this war. 100%. He's the military contractor. He's the guy. Okay? And now you're going to have, again, another one of these Goonies, okay, say, yeah, tactical nuclear strikes. Here we go.
Joining me now to discuss, retired Brigadier General Mark Kimmett. He's former Assistant Secretary of State for Political Military Affairs, also former Deputy Director for Plans and Strategy at U.S. CENTCOM. General, good to have you on this morning.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
So this shows how seriously the U.S. is taking these Russian nuclear threats. They've been developing contingency plans for some time. I wonder, can you describe what such contingency plans might involve?
Well, I think, first of all, there's the public face of all of this, which is how we communicate to Russia what we're prepared to do, what we're not prepared to do. My personal view is I think we ought to be deliberately vague on what we are prepared to do. Anytime you draw a red line, that commits you to a certain course of action.
Anytime you draw a red line, that commits you to a certain course of action. What? First of all, who's talked about peace talks? All right? Putin's given very specific directions on how we could have gotten out of all this very early. NATO back off. All right? But what they're saying is there is no red line, and right now it seems like we're into regime change or nuclear strikes. Wow.
Look, I think it's fairly simple to lay down the options. It could be the soft side of it, which is doubling down on sanctions, doubling down on export controls, ranging all the way to a nuclear response of our own and everything in between.
Wow. And everything in between. Wow is the word. And now let's talk about celebritard culture. Okay? Another reason, again, I told you, you're not going to see on any mainstream network tonight Wyatt Reed and the target of journalist hotels. I'm no Hannity fan. He's been warmongering this for a while. But let's take you back to April when he had Sean Penn on, and he's talking nuclear strikes with Zelensky, who's now in like this pro wrestling fight with Elon Musk or nuts that you're supposed to, again, worship. And when he says something, listen, he's right. We should be getting out of this, period. But you shouldn't have armed them with Starlink satellites. But you're a military contractor, so you don't have a choice. I mean, this is the same also, you know, the Musk is also the one telling you that he's like couch surfing at times, like Cato Kalin. It's out of control.
I know that Trump gave them javelins. I know that they had some defenses. But if you go back to the Budapest Agreement, they were at the time the third largest nuclear power in the world. And they made an agreement that they'd give those weapons to Russia to be destroyed in exchange for protection from Russia, Great Britain, and the U.S. Lesson to be learned here, don't give up your nuclear weapons if you have them, because you can't believe people like Vladimir Putin.
Well, even countries that have nuclear weapons can remain intimidated to use them, and we're seeing that now with our own country. And I fear what that legacy is going to be. No one wants to see a nuclear conflict.
I don't want to see one. Nobody does.
At the same time, if only one bully is going to be able to use those weapons as a threat, we got to rethink what we're doing.
We got to rethink what we're doing. Who gets to be the bully? We're not going to talk about anti-missile defense. We're not talking about real diplomacy and rationality. No. We're not talking carbon emissions. Boy, it's like, what do you think? Global nuclear war? Is that going to be worse than my carbon emissions for driving a Chevy truck? What planet are we on? Folks, thumbs it up, subscribe, share. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order to Find, and Shade the Motion Picture. They are more important now than ever. We don't even have 150 thumbs. Well, we have 150 thumbs over at YouTube. Can we get 200? Can we get 200 up? Can we let people know we don't want World War III? Can we let people know that Musk is in the middle of this as kind of a front man? He's there to play a certain role. It's Hollyweird. That's what we're really looking at. Red Voice Media, exclusive content every single Friday. We got another one coming up this Friday. one on Assange last Friday. So much more, and we're going to be doing that 4-day-a-week show. You can start for only $1 for your first month. Other great creators on there. The link is down below. It's redvoicemedia.net/Jason. Great way to support the broadcast, especially upcoming. We got the Buy Me a Coffee. That's how you can directly support Jason Bermas. $5, $10, $15. It means the world to me. It's how we keep doing it. Remember, we're rumbling. Without you, we wouldn't be here. This is where we're also completely uncensored. And don't forget to Rockfin, which is really like a Netflix of some of the most talented and censored creators out there. You subscribe. It's $9.99 a month or $99.99 for the year. Great way to do that. In fact, we got another tip that I forgot to say. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, guys, I love you. Not about left or right. Always about right and wrong. We're not Team Poot, but we're certainly not Team WW3. I'll see you on the flip side.